What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Stuff's getting real, and we need to talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this situation. Have you made money off of it? Are you staying away from it? What are you doing? I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not going to give any advice in this video probably anyway, but just in case, I'm just a truck driver driving across the country trading and researching stocks. I will not be held responsible for anything you do in the stock market. I'm not your mama. So let's talk about it. GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry. Shit's going down, guys. All right? Now, if you've been following me and really watching the videos, you've seen me talk about my theories about how the stock market has changed. And I've been talking about it since before I even started this channel with people. All right. The stock market is changing. Okay. And even in my comments and stuff, there's been a lot of discussion about, well, what happens when all this stops? And what happens when stocks stop running up and the market pulls back? The market pulled back yesterday. The market, it kind of went back up, but the market pulled back today, and I had stuff that was in the green, and that's not to say, I get a lot of flack for it. That's not to say that it's always going to work this way. Okay. It's not going to say that we're always going to win the battle, but make no mistake, there is a battle now. Before I kind of called it just I didn't really call it a war.
You need to take a break in the next 1 hour.
I need to take a break in the next 1 hour, apparently. Before, I hadn't really referred to it as a war. I started to, but there is a war taking place right now between retail investors and hedge funds and brokers. So, like I talked about in other videos, it used to be only the hedge funds and the brokers and the very rich people could make stocks move and could make moves and manipulate stocks and stuff. That's not the case anymore. Okay. And I've said that multiple times since I've been doing this channel. And I think that even some of the people in my subscriber list aren't really clicking to it, but you should click to it now. Look at GameStop, look at AMC, look at what's going on. This would never have been possible a few years ago, okay? But what we're seeing right now is that retail investors, people like you and me, just regular Joes, okay, they're fixing to bankrupt these fucking hedge funds. They're fixing to bankrupt them. Citron and what's the other one that guy owns? Well, anyways, Wall Street Bets, guys. I'm not a member of that Reddit, I'm not a member. I am not involved in it. Okay. But these guys basically just made a decision. They were like, hey, these short selling companies, these short sellers, they got this stock, GameStop, they got it so heavily shorted that there are more shorts than there are shares. And so what they did was they said, okay, we're all just going to start buying it. And we're going to buy it and hold it. And we're going to force the share price up, okay? And they're kicking their ass, guys. These hedge funds are literally like a couple of billionaires had to step in and give them some money so they didn't just completely collapse, okay? And this is retail investors doing it. It's like Occupy Wall Street or something on a whole nother level, you know what I mean? Like these guys are just like, fuck these short sellers. We're going to just stick it to the man. We're going to stick it to these motherfuckers. And they're doing it, man. GameStop up like, I don't know, something crazy, 4,000% or something. It went from $5 to like $300 and something in a matter of a week, And I've kind of been paying attention to it. But today, like a bunch of videos I watched about it. And it's just crazy, guys. And I'm all for it, okay? Part of the whole reason that I started trading stocks, okay, was because I was like, you know what? the government ain't going to give us what we want. The rich people ain't going to give us what we want. You know, they're going to continue to try to just control everything and hoard everything and keep us all poor. And so I was like, fuck it. I'm going to, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm going to beat them at their own game. I'm going to get in the stock market and I'm going to make money. Okay. And I've done it. Okay. Now I'm not rich or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I'm working on it. You know what I mean? I mean, and that's part of the thing is like, stick it to the man. If they're not gonna make it to where regular people can, you know, make a good living and stuff like they could 30 years ago, 40 years ago, then we got to take some money out of their pockets, or at least get into the same ball game and play the same game that they're playing. And that's why I started trading stocks. I mean, yes, I also like had a revelation about, hey, you know, I haven't really done anything for my future and I'm fucking 46 years old. So, but it also is, you know, it's like I got to do something. I got to get out here and get while the getting's good. And man, I just love that these guys are sticking it to them like that. I love it. Like these guys had like, I don't know the exact numbers. Okay. So basically like shorting. Okay. Shorting is basically borrowing shares. So you borrow a share, say you borrow a share at $10. Okay. And you sell it to somebody else at $10. And you're hoping that the stock goes down. Then the stock goes down to $5. You buy 2 shares of the stock. You give back the one you owe to this guy you borrowed it from, and you made some money. Okay, that's basically what shorting is. Okay, but if the stock goes up, then you got to buy that share back for more, and then you give the share back, and you lost however much money it went up. Okay. Now, here's the thing. There can be more shares borrowed and shorted than exist. So basically what you've got is a situation where GameStop was $5, okay? And there was like 70 million shorted shares. But there was only like 40 million or 30 million shares available when you take out of the equation like ones that are owned by insiders and stuff like that, you know. So basically there's more shares shorted than there are available. So these people on Reddit are like, you know, fuck it, man. You know, these guys, they're just manipulating and you know, they're just like controlling everything. Let's just all start buying a bunch of shares and hold them. And so what happens is, as it goes up, you know, you'll see a short squeeze on a regular day without any of this craziness. So you'll see a stock and a bunch of people have it shorted, and it'll just be slowly tapering up and going up and up and up. And then at a certain point, they're like, oh shit, I got to cover or I'm going to lose a whole bunch of money. And so the stock goes whoop and shoots up like that because they all have to buy shares to cover before it goes up any further. Okay. So what this has caused, okay, is that so many people have bought GameStop and they had so many more shares shorted than were available. There's no shares for them to cover with, okay? Like, there's no shares for them to cover with. So they're just stuck in a position where they're just losing more and more and more the further it goes up. And they have to pay interest on that what they owe, okay? So even if they don't cover, they still owe. So they're tearing these motherfuckers a new asshole, guys. And it is just funny to me. I got a buddy that I was just talking to. He just asked me about all this stuff the other day. A friend of mine who also trades. And I talked to him today. He's made like 50 grand on GameStop since this started. He's up like, I think he said like 900% or something. He has also made like 4,000 or 5,000 in BlackBerry or something. Like, he is just banking it off of these things, okay, because he got into it early. I'm scared of it. Now, if I had a little money, I might throw some into AMC because it's doing it too, and just, you know, let it sit for a day and see what happens. But he's made a ton off of this thing, like so much that he said he's going to like lose some benefits that he has if he cashes it in, because he's made so much money on it. It's crazy. Like, it's like robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. Okay, it's like it's Robin Hood. It's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on. And again, it just proves my point. Okay, it proves the point that I've been trying to make in some of these videos, that there has been a fundamental shift that is taking place in the stock market, and it's taking place because retail investors, people like you and I, have been flooding into the market ever since the fees disappeared and the minimums disappeared. And this has only been a year and a half or 2 years. But because it's possible now for us to just put a couple $100 in and start trading stocks, and it don't cost us anything, people have just flooded in. And a lot of people will say, well, it's because the coronavirus and the pandemic and everybody's getting stimulus checks. People like you and me, I haven't gotten a stimulus check, but people like you and me who get stimulus checks, that ain't extra money. These people who are saying that, they have a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Like, people who are getting stimulus checks are using it to pay their fucking rent and buy food and shit. They're not dumping it in the stock market. All these people who have gotten into the stock market have not gotten into the stock market because of the pandemic. They've gotten into the stock market because they can, and they couldn't before. Like I've said before, there's been many times over the years when I've thought about trying it out, but every time I looked at it, it was just so much of a barrier to entry. Minimums, high fees. So like if you make a little bit of money, you're paying so much in fees and stuff that, and then taxes on top of that, it wasn't worth it. But now it's changed, and people are just banging and jumping into it. And it's changing the way the stock market works, okay? That's my opinion. It's my opinion as a non-financial advisor and a non-expert and somebody who hasn't been doing this very long. But I'm telling you guys, there's a fundamental shift that's taking place. And all these people that are talking about, well, just wait till the market goes down and everybody loses all their money. I mean, yes, we are still a small percentage. We're like 20-25% of the money in the stock market right now is retail investors, and the rest of it is still the hedge funds and all those guys. But see, the hedge funds and all them guys are not really investing in a lot of the types of stocks that we're investing in. We're the ones who are moving Lordstown Motors, and we're the ones who are moving a OEG and a BNGO and an NNDM. Maybe not NNDM, but a lot of the reason that these smaller market cap, more risky stocks are moving around is because of us. And I think that people just don't get that. And that's why, in my opinion, when we have big red days like we had today, there are still a lot of these small market cap stocks that will run up and shit. Because retail investors, a lot of us don't really give a shit about how stuff used to work. You know what I mean? Like OEG, everything's going down, 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 and OEG's still way up, and it went up some more today. It did come back down, but it's still way up, guys. And these are stocks that will move based on what people like you and me do, because a lot of these institutions and stuff, they're not dumping copious amounts of money into it. They're dumping money into Amazon and Walmart and Netflix and stuff like that, and Tesla, not necessarily these smaller stocks. It's just fantastic, guys. I love it. I love seeing the hedge funds, and I stick it to the man, guys. Stick it to the man. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I don't have, like I said, I don't have any free cash right now, or I would probably put some into AMC because it's the one that I think is still kind of low comparatively. But guys, it's crazy what's going on right now. I just wanted to make a video about it and ramble about it. Hope you guys did okay in the market today. It was horrible. And I tend to think that part of it could even be a freak out because of what's going on with these stocks, these giant short squeezes. Like the market and the rich people and the hedge funds are all like, oh shit, like what is happening? We don't, like, we control this. How is this happening? How is this possible? Oh my God, I'm freaking out. And so the whole market is like just tanking. And I'm holding. I did not sell anything today, even though I had a lot of stuff that was down. I'm holding through it. I saw a lot of other people, like, here and there saying that a lot of what we were seeing today was probably having something to do with the GameStop thing and the AMC BlackBerry thing. And there may be more of these to come. You know how these troll ass websites act, these forums that are just a bunch of trolls and internet people, you know, they will do some shit just to do it, just to stick it to a motherfucker, you know. And that's what's going on. And it's liable to happen on some other stuff too as we go forward. Who knows how all of the big money players are going to react to it? Who knows what it could cause throughout the rest of the market? So pay attention, be careful, enjoy the show, and thanks for watching.